Another really interesting way to look at dispositions when you're talking about critical thinking comes to us from Project Zero, which is part of the Harvard Graduate School of Education. And they research critical thinking and create resources for critical thinking. So back in the year 2000, they published an article called Intelligence in the Wild, a Dispositional View of Intellectual Traits. And in this article from the Educational Psychology Review, Perkins, Tishman, and others proposed a triadic model of thinking dispositions. What they propose is that critical thinking actually has three parts to it: the ability to think critically, the inclination to think critically, and the sensitivity to moments when it's important to think critically. In other words, the ability would be things like asking good questions, being able to find good evidence, being able to listen to others and mold perspectives or intertwine perspectives. Inclination would really be just the motivation and the interest. For example, curiosity would be a disposition that inclines people towards critical thinking. And sensitivity is simply the ability to see a moment when, oh, this is when I need critical thinking. This is an opportunity to use critical thinking. So after proposing this model, they did some initial research to see if the model would hold up under evidence. Now, they did this by telling stories to students and then asking them questions to see if they had the ability to actually apply critical thinking to the story, or if they would be sensitive to noticing moments when critical thinking wasn't being used or needed to be used. And 3, would they be motivated to use critical thinking on the story? And what they found was, yes, there are 3. You can divide critical thinking into these 3 things, and you can separate them and learn them and teach them separately as well. They also found that if critical thinking doesn't happen, one of these is less likely to be present. Which one do you think it is? It actually turned out that sensitivity was the quality that would be missing very often when critical thinking doesn't happen. So when talking and thinking about dispositions in critical thinking, it's also a great idea to think about inclination and sensitivity to critical thinking.